Hey, hello.
How are you?
Very good. Everything okay with the audio?
Yeah. How about you? Is it sound okay?
Yeah, everything's great.
Cool.
Okay, so let's start maybe with your beginnings in Dragon Force, because you joined the ranks of this band in 2020, replacing
hmm
Frederick Leclerc, or Stevie T, if we can count him. How did it happen that you were the one who got the position?
Yeah, it was a crazy experience. Basically, I have my own band called Vigil of War, which is based in Los Angeles, and we play around locally quite a lot. So there was somebody that our friend Dave, who comes to all of our shows, who's, been following my band for a while, is friends with Herman. So when Herman was asking around, we're looking for bass players. My name was mentioned to him through Dave. And so Herman actually wrote me on Instagram and was like, hey, would you like to audition for Dragon Force? And I'm like, whoa, it's crazy. I mean, I don't think I'll get the gig, but I mean, yeah, I would love to audition. So I started the audition process. That took a few months and they narrowed it down to a few of us. And I met the band briefly one time and then got the gig. Um, I had to send in some videos and yeah, it was very a crazy experience. So yeah, I'm very honored to be part of the band now.
And do you remember what songs you had to prepare?
Yeah, I had to learn Through the Fire and Flames and Cry Thunder. So,
And initially, you were supposed to support the band at concerts. It was a big opportunity anyway, because after all, Dragon Force is a big name. And you basically joined at the beginning of the pandemic. And after that,
I know.
no opportunity to
Yeah.
travel, no opportunity to play concerts. So what did you think at that time?
I know. It was crazy timing. I mean, I'm so grateful I at least got to do a tour and a half with them, but then obviously the pandemic happened. So that was definitely a bummer, but I was happy that I got at least some, touring in before the world shut down, but now the last couple of years of playing with them again has just been even more special because, we had a couple years break.
And 2 years later, you were announced as a full-fledged member of Dragon Force. So it was no surprise for you.
No, yeah. I mean, it's an honor for sure, but I think we had been kind of talking about that even kind of since the beginning, but because of this pandemic, we didn't get to make the announcement until later. So, yeah, it feels really good now to be an actual member, to be a part of their videos, and I got to just actually record my first album with the band. So, yeah, it's been an honor.
And the first song in which we could see you was Doomsday Party, and individual band members played other musicians. So on whom did you model yourself? Because fans wrote that it was probably David Ellefson, but the style for me resembled more of Tom Angel Reaper from Sodom with this bullet belt.
Yeah. Well, we all represented basically different genres of metal. So I was the thrash metal character, and I did play David Ellefson's bass. So I guess that he would be the closest person that I would have been portraying, but it was thrash metal as a whole. But yeah, that was my favorite video I've gotten to do with them. I mean, it was so much fun. We were all in character mode and had dancers and the song itself was the most different I think that Dragon Force has done because it's a funky disco metal song. So yeah, it was just overall just so much fun.
And before we got the new album, we've got another pack for the game Beat Saber. So how did you come to collaborate with Beat Games?
Yeah, that was through Herman. So Herman was in contact with them and they reached out and wanted us to do a song for it. And I mean, how cool. It was such a fun, that was another great video that we got to do and song. And I actually just played Beat Saber with Herman and G on this last tour, and my arms were like, wow, they were kind of sore after. It's crazy. It's a good workout.
And how the creation of the power of the Sable Blade differs from the normal compositions, because after all, it is a rhythmic game.
It is a, sorry, I missed the last part.
It
It is a
is
what?
a rhythmic game. So how the creation of the power from the power of the sable blade differs from standard compositions.
Yeah, that's a good question. So Sam was in charge of this song. He wrote it, and um I think they did have to keep the rhythm in mind, you know, because obviously it is a rhythm game, but and the lyrics are very Beat Saber themed. Um, but overall it still sounds like a DRAGONFORCE song, I think. And so it was a good blend of, you know, how does DRAGONFORCE write a Beat Saber song? And that's what happened. So
And the Dragon Force has always been closely associated with video games. So do you like this form of entertainment?
yeah, I mean, I grew up with Nintendo 64, so that was my, you know, generation of video games. And you know, I've gotten to play some video games with the guys on the road a little bit, but at home, I pretty much don't, I feel like I don't have much time in my day as it is. So I try to focus more of my attention on and time on music. But I appreciate, you know, the video games and, you know, the style that they've been able to create. It's unique, I think, for metal.
And the first album with you in the lineup was Warp Speed Warriors. So what was it like working on this release? Because from what I've read, it basically everyone worked from a different country.
Yeah, yeah. So that was unique because I've never gotten to really record in that way. You know, usually with my band and any band I've been in, like we all are together for the recording. So it was interesting, but I'm grateful that our producer Damien was actually living here in LA too. So I was able to go in person to the studio and record my parts. So that felt more real to me. Um, and we just would be, you know, talking to Sam and Herman in between, you know, like asking their opinions. But yeah, overall, I mean, I'm just so happy that I finally got to kind of put my stamp on a record this time and not just as a touring member. So
So you like this way of working, or do you prefer more organic work, like meeting in the rehearsal room?
Well, funny enough, we don't really actually rehearse. So because we live all over the world, we just are expected to show up and know our parts. And so, you know, I think it's cool to do a balance of both. My band, you know, we get together in person and I enjoy that aspect, but you know, with Dragon Force, it's just a different experience and I like both. So yeah.
And who had the most to say about the direction taken on Warp Speed Warriors? And what was your contribution to the writing process of this material?
Yeah, so Sam actually wrote this album in COVID. So he's the primary writer, and then we were all able to kind of, you know, put our own spin on our parts, on our own instruments, you know, and have a little bit of creative control with that. So yeah, it was cool. I mean, I like what Sam did, and I was able to, you know, put some cool little bass fills here and there, and a little bass solo and Burning Heart, and yeah, so it's nice.
And the Power of the Triforce is a tribute to the Legend of Zelda games. Space Marine Corps is a tribute to Warhammer 40K. So what else inspired the Dragon Force when it comes to lyrics on this album?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's another Sam question because you know, most people would assume that Mark would have written it, and he has other albums, written some songs, but this was all Sam's direction for this album, and you know, he had come up with it during COVID, and he's a big, you know, video game person, so most of it is definitely either video game based or fantasy based. But
So fast, upbeat, game-inspired power metal. That's how we can describe the Dragon Force singer's solo album. So were you surprised by Starbound's stories when Mark released this?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's so good. It's so catchy and yeah.
Any of Mark's
I'm proud of
ideas came
him.
from Dragon Force session for this album, or was it something that he completely write like on the other track?
Yep. That was all Mark. So that was something he, you know, finally got to kind of do on his own. He wrote it all and got to, you know, just finally kind of express himself on his own, which is I'm very proud of him and I'm hoping to hear more. So
And a lot of people after Through Fire and the Flames expect Dragon Force to rush at almost breakneck speed. And on the Warspeed Warriors, we've got a ballad. So what can you say about Kingdom of Steel?
Yeah, Kingdom of Steel is one of my favorites, honestly. It's, because yeah, people just when they hear about metal, they expect, especially Dragon Force, they are known from their speed, but I think what people sometimes overlook, unless you're a fan of the band, is that we're a very versatile band, it's not just speed metal. There's a ballad, there's a disco metal song, there's a Taylor Swift cover. I mean, there's something that everyone I think can either enjoy or, you either hate it or love it. And but it gives a reaction out of people. And I think that's important. It's not just something that's forgettable. It's something that, stands out. And yeah, so Kingdom of Steel, I think, is very catchy. And I hope we get to play it live at some point.
And
But
what is the story behind the bonus tracks with Matthew Heafy, Nita Strauss, Elise Reed, and Alisa Whiteglass? Because it was a bonus CD, right?
yeah. So we have alternate versions of a few of the songs on the album, which is pretty cool. So, the band has gotten to be friends with quite a few people in the industry, in the metal scene, over the years. So everyone seemed very happy to be a part of it, and it was really cool. I was in a band with Nita a few years ago. We were called We Start Wars. So it was nice to have, one of my old bandmates and friends on there too. And
I have
yeah.
her guitar pick that I catched on Alice Cooper show.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, she's great. She's such a great performer and player.
And you knew already that you're gonna do a video with Alice Reed for the promotion of the tour with Amarante. You already knew when she did the bonus track that you're gonna go on the tour together.
Yes. That was exciting because um it was like a perfect, promotion and collaboration because we were going to be touring a couple times together. And I mean, she's such an amazing singer, so she did a great job. I wish she could have been in person in our video, but because she lives in Europe also and we shot in Los Angeles, she had to do it from home, from over there at least. So but
And,
yeah, it was fun to see the final product.
and after the album, you teamed up with the producers of another game, Brawl Stars. So how did you come to write a Draco Tale and create this funny video for this song?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was through Herman. Brawl Stars approached Herman and wanted us to do a collaboration, and we were actually already on the road. So we had to record most of the song on the tour bus, and we shot our video literally on our day off in between our Riverside and San Francisco show. So we had like one day off, quickly shot the video, and then had to come back and like right after the tour finished, finish the song real quick. So the song was not even done when we shot the video. It was like only in demo stage. But yeah, it was a blast. I mean, they created some like custom outfits for us, and the fans are very strong. I had no idea what a strong fan base Brawl Stars have. So I think we've got some new fans, and it's been cool to see. So
And which song from the your first Dragon Force album you prefer the most performing live? You like the most?
ooh, good question. I think, well, so far we've only done Doomsday Party, Power of the Triforce, and the Taylor Swift cover live. So out of those three from the album, I would say Doomsday Party is probably my favorite just because it's got like a funky bass line and it's really fun to play, and to see people's reaction when we play that song, it's pretty fun. So
And how do people at show react to the covers? Because their choice is surprising. The fans are going crazy on the Wildest Dreams and My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah, it's awesome because, kind of like I said before, you either love it or hate it. And that's a great reaction, because at least it's making you feel something. And I think it's something unexpected, and we're kind of making those pop songs our own style. And it's super fun. And especially when if you can show up to a show, maybe you don't know any of our songs. So if you can hear something that you recognize, and that might, you know, create a new fan. So it's been fun.
And behind you are many concerts with Dragon Force, including a crazy concert as a part of 70,000 tons of metal, where you slide down a slide and
Yeah.
play in a hot tub. So where did you get the
Yeah.
idea for something like that?
Well, okay, so Herman had played in the pool before. So he did something similar. And then I'm always down for the stunt. So I said, Herman, we have to do something crazy again. And he's like, yeah, I'm down. So me and him were like down to do it. And then he's like, we have to step it up a notch. I'm like, what about the water slides? We should do that. Cause he had the jacuzzi idea and I had the water slide idea. So we just, yeah, we made both happen. It was hard because we had to time it correctly, you know, so that we could make it to both places before the end of the song. And my in-ears actually went out, like, you know, they got wet and like I couldn't hear what I was playing, so I had to like just go for it. And you know, my bass was kind of going in and out a little bit, but it was a blast. Like, I'm so glad that my bass ended up being able to still play, because we had to like tape it all up and have like a raft underneath and really like secure our in-ear pack and all that so that everything worked. And yeah, thank God it all went to plan. It was a blast.
So they did survive this concert.
They did, yeah. I think I still have my bass. I think it's this one behind me. um yep, it still plays. And it's great, yeah.
And quite recently, you finished aforementioned tour with Amarante, and now you're gonna to make another trip. So how do you recall the concert from Warsaw from March, if I remember
Oh
correctly?
yeah, yeah. It was honestly, that was one of our best shows of the tour, because the Polish crowd like really came through. They were very energetic. And I remember the venue, like it was actually really hot in there. Like we were all sweating like crazy, but that didn't stop anybody from being crazy. Like that was definitely one of the wildest crowds we had. So I remember that being, yeah, definitely one of the highlights of the tour.
And in August, in turn, you're gonna appear in Krakow with Necrogoblikon. So what we'll be
Yeah.
able to expect from this show?
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, we just got off tour with Necrogoblicon and they are so much fun. They put on a great show. Just like us, they kind of incorporate some humor and something different for a metal show. So I think it's a perfect combo and people are gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I saw a few pictures with the American tour. So what is it all about with the chicken that
Yeah.
you have so many photos with?
So basically, when we play Power of the Triforce, it is a Zelda reference. So, you know, we brought our own throwing chicken, just like in Zelda, to throw out in the audience, and people have such a fun time with it. I mean, some people have even torn our chickens apart, and but you know, they fling all over the rooms, they go up on the balconies. It's awesome. You know, it really like makes, I think, the audience participate with us, and it's fun.
And you're gonna change the set list on the new tour in comparison to the March. We're gonna hear a new
I
songs.
believe so. Yeah, it'll be a surprise for me too, because they still haven't told us what we're playing. So they usually tell us like kind of shortly before our tours what we're doing. So I don't know what we're playing yet, but it'll be a surprise for both of us. But we should, you know, change it up a little bit.
And Dragon Force is a band that tours extensively. How are you able to balance that with leading your own group?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, because I do run my own band and book my own shows, it's a nice balance, because then I just book around Dragon Force's schedule. So it really hasn't become an issue at all. And honestly, we've been touring a lot more heavily in the last year or two, which is good timing, because half of my band became parents. So they're not able to tour as much anyway right now while they have like, you know, really little kids and babies. So it actually works out perfect timing. So yeah.
And how have you developed as a bassist over the years associated with DRAGONFORCE? Did playing for the fastest band in the world motivated you to work harder?
Oh yeah, yeah. I come from, you know, a punk and a rock and a melodic metal background, so you know, power metal is something I hadn't done before, and I really had to, you know, in the beginning, like practice like hours and hours, like sometimes 8, 9 hours a day, and just build up my bass arm and my speed. So yeah, it's definitely made me a better musician for sure.
And you also had a little adventure in acting. So is that a closed topic?
Is that what?
A closed topic?
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, I did a little bit of acting as a kid and it was fun, but once I, you know, realized that music was my passion, I just turned all of my focus onto that. So, you know, I feel like with music videos, I kind of get to blend a little bit of acting and theatrics into the music part too. So that's always fun. But yeah, I mean, maybe I'll do acting again at some point, but for now, I'm just so content with my music and yeah.
And what about modeling? Because you also worked as a model.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fun to sometimes do shoots here and there and get creative. I love, you know, fashion and clothing. So really just blending all of that together is I love to do. So whenever I have the time, music is my number one, but you know, and I kind of get to blend aspects of, you know, acting, modeling, all of it into music too. But yeah, music is definitely my number one thing.
And this is all that I have prepared. So thank you very much for your time. And I will ask
Yeah, thank you.
for some words for Polish fans. Maybe you can invite them to the Polish show in August.
Yeah, so yeah, this is Alicia Vigil, and we are playing Dragon Force or playing in Krakow in August. So I hope to see you there. I love Polish fans and Poland in general, so excited to be back.
Okay, so this is all that I have prepared. So again, thank you for your time and have a good evening.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye.